people to the first episode of Let's Make History Together, where we take Woking FC from the non-league to the very top. We want the Champions League by the end of the series, and that's the expectation set by Woking FC themselves. Yes, this is somewhat of an official save. Woking have been amazing, and along the series, they will get involved and help us provide some surprises for you guys. So in this episode, we'll have a look around the squad, getting to know the players, getting to know the staff, create a shortlist of players who we can sign for the next episode. Of course, you guys can have your say in the comments of who we should sign for the next episode, which is tomorrow, where we will try and make some of those signings. We'll create the tactic and of course play a few games as well. So before we get stuck into the best save ever, make sure you hit that like button. That's going to be very important in helping this video and the series grow. It has the potential to be a wonderful thing with the help from Woking FC. So let's aim for around 300 likes on this first video. Also hit subscribe, share the video, and now let's make history together. One Football have been amazing enough to sponsor this video, and what I need for you guys to do is check out the app. The link will be in the description. It's fairly easy to do. You can download it via the link, or you can use the barcode on the screen. The app is a great footballing app. It's where you can check the latest statistics, the latest football news. You can also watch some live free games. Yes, you heard me right. You can watch free games live for free on the footballing app. It's my favorite place to keep up to date with the most recent football news. You can also find some fantastic analysis and match reports on the One Football app as well. If you're attempting to replicate tactics like I do on this channel, you can also use this app to grab the latest match stats and all of that good stuff. So make sure you check out the app. The link is in the description, but also you can use the barcode on the screen, and trust me, you will not regret downloading this app. So here we are. Woking today have confirmed the appointment of Aaron Duval as the club's new manager. Aaron Duval, which is me. Duval has put pen to paper on a 2-year deal worth £1,100 per week. He replaces the previous manager, Alan Dawson. I apologise, Alan. I apologise. Let's make history together. Now we can look a bit more at the club. The reputation is at 1.5 stars, which I believe is regional. Yes, it is. The media prediction is 16th. Now, I believe we can do a little bit better than 16th. The director of football position is currently vacant, and the assistant manager is Ian Dyer. The year the club was founded was in 1887, and the fierce rivals is Aldershot Town, who happen to be in the same league as us, so that could be tasty throughout the year. The club's history, in total, they have won 7 trophies, so they do have a little bit of history, but we will be adding to that and making them an elite side. So we are going to get some elite trophies. Well, we are going to try and get some elite trophies. Let's add that Champions League trophy. Let's add that Premier League trophy into the Woking trophy cabinet. The Kingfield Stadium is where we will be playing our games. It holds 6,000 people, and it was built in 1989, which means it's fairly new. We do have average training facilities, adequate youth facilities, and a fairly basic youth recruitment, all of which we will be looking to improve as the series goes on. Now, looking at the finances, the status is on okay. The transfer budget is on £24,000 and the wage budget is on £16,000, but we don't actually get to spend that £16,000. We will see how much is left over for us to spend in the transfer window. Now, this is the team report, the best 11 according to God knows who. Up top, we have 2 big strikers, F Young and George Oakley, but I'm so excited to be working with Tavon Campbell. He's going to be our striker. I know he is. He's banging goals in real life. He better bang goals for us in Football Manager. We also have Tyreek Johnson, who is, I believe, the best player in the squad according to Football Manager, because it says at the bottom here. And we have Kyron Lofthouse at right back, who is the hot prospect as well. Josh Casey is the captain. Anderson is the highest earner. Now, he's a new signing. He literally just joined Woking a few days ago in real life in December. They signed 2 players, Lewis Britton as well, on loan, and he's on loan with us till the 2nd of January. At the back, we have Diarra, the French centre-back, and we have McNerney as well. 2 big centre-backs, both decent in the air. On the flank, on the right flank, we have Alakria. You know what? I learned how to pronounce his name, and for some reason, it's gone out of my head already. But his first name is Taron, so we may have to call him Taron for this episode. make sure we don't annoy him. And we have Rohan Ince in central midfield as well. So now, here is the club's vision, the club's culture. What do they expect from us? Now, they want us to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. Now, that goes without saying. We are going to try and improve those performances on the pitch, but also off the pitch. We want to grow this club really into an elite club where we can develop the best youngsters, we can attract the best players and play the best football as well. So we want to grow the club's reputation. That's going to be required, increase commercial revenue and work within the wage budget. For the end of the current season, the expectations is to finish around mid-table. That's required. Reach the first round minimum of the FA Cup. That's required. The FA Trophy is preferred. It's not really important, but we are expected minimum to reach the fourth round in that trophy. Next season, we are expected to record a National League top half finish, and my contract expires, so we do need to have a decent first season. And lastly, for the arrangements, schedule a press conference to meet the media. Yes, the fans need to see me. The Cardinals need to get familiar with Aaron Deval. Arrange an inter-squad friendly. No, I don't believe that's very important. And arrange with the meeting with the backroom staff. By default, I always go to every month, especially in the non-league as well. In the lower leagues, it's not going to be often that we blindly follow advice and recommendations from our staff because, of course, they do not have the greatest ability in the game. I'm not one of those managers. We will have to listen to our staff, but we will have to be careful taking in certain information. But that's it. Let's go to the manager's office. So here we are. Deval takes charge at Woking, and as you can see, my very handsome face here. Woking players in their last contract. Now, we have some very key players here. We have George Oakley, Rohan Ince, Tariq Johnson, Taryn, Jermaine Anderson, Ini Effiong, and Tavon Campbell. All for me are very, very important players. Tavon Campbell, his contract certainly needs to be offered, but we aren't going to offer them just yet. We will wait for deadline day because we will need to make some signings and we need to work within the wage budget, remember? So we can't, of course, sign new players and offer contracts all at the same time. So first, we may have to bring in some new players because that may be the most important thing. And then we can offer some of these players contracts. We may have to sell some players as well if we want to offer these players some new contract. What we can do is go to home, we can go to the notebook and we can create a note, a reminder on deadline day, and that will basically remind us to offer those player contracts. So I went and set that by myself. The tactical direction, now we can't actually set a tactical direction without getting to know the players, without getting to know the staff, and also looking at my DNA. We do have a DNA, we have a set of attributes that we will be looking at closely when signing players because we want our team to play a certain way. I'm going to be a proactive manager. I'm not going to look at the squad and try and work out the best way to play. I want the players to develop, but I also want them to get familiar with my tactical ideas. I'm not going to go to the total extreme. I know that I have to also compromise. Some of these players may not be able or be up for it to do a certain job. So we may have to compromise, but my key tactical ideas will have to be put across. So the club vision, we will have to accept that. We are fairly happy with that. And for the pre-season preparation, we're just going to go for the tactical initial pre-season schedule. Now, let's get familiar with the squad. Now, the squad view was created by NOX, and you can see RDF as well at the front of it because I have tweaked it a lot. I added my tactical DNA, my attribute DNA basically, where I will be looking at work rate, teamwork, determination, decision making, bravery, composure, off the ball, stamina, balance, agility, first touch, and passing. Those attributes will be key for me. They will be important for me. So basically we can flourish in our tactical system. Let's look at the key players, shall we? George Oakley, a striker. Now, he likes to come deep to get the ball. For me, he's not exactly a target man with his balance on 11 and his strength on 13, heading on 12. There are better target mans basically, especially in this squad. I believe he's more of a deep line forward. But we do have a decision to make because we do also have Effiong to play up front and we are for sure going to be playing Tavon Campbell as well. Tariq Johnson, he can play anywhere down that left flank. He can also play in attacking midfield down the right flank and up top. A highly versatile player. He's going to be very important. He's got some decent pace to him and he's got a decent flair to him as well. Now, my skin may look a bit different to yours because I have worked out what the average is in this league, the average attribute, and what are the good attributes basically. So, all the attributes below 10, which is the average, they are basically classed as poor attributes and they will be coloured in blue. The average attributes will be coloured in grey, the good attributes will be coloured in yellow, and the very good attributes will be coloured in a greenish color. So for me, that just makes it easier to paint a picture when looking at someone's profile. So if I look at Tyreek Johnson for an example, straight away I can see what he's good at, straight away I can see what he's bad at, and straight away I can see where he's hitting those average attribute numbers. So technically for me, he's fairly average. Physically, he's fairly good. I could just see that by looking at the screen straight away. Rohan Ince, he's another key and important player, someone that's a hard worker, someone that likes to follow the team instructions, which is going to be key, someone that likes to put in the tackles as well. He's strong, he likes to jump, or he's got a good jumping reach, and his stamina is fairly decent as well. A nice little determination to him. Ini Effiong, a big, powerful, strong guy. His strength is on 17, his heading's on 12, his jumping reach could be a bit better. But his player traits, now this is what I'm excited to see. Shoots with power. When he's one-on-one with that 17 strength, I'm expecting him to bust that net. I mean, bust that net. Hello, Dalgit. We also have Taran, who can play on the right-hand side. He can play in central midfield. He can play on the left. He can play in attacking midfield. He may be key. He's got decent flair. His agility could be better, but his dribbling is fairly decent. His acceleration and pace is decent as well. His bravery, he's a fairly brave player. He likes to work hard. For me, I'm painting this picture that I can see him on the right side of midfield. I can see him on the right side with Tyreek Johnson on the left. If we look at the positions of the squad, if we just look at the positions quickly, it's kind of suited for a 4-4-2. It's kind of forcing us to play a 4-4-2. We can play a 4-2-3-1, but I just don't really want to risk it. I feel a 4-4-2 will be a great base formation for us, especially to start the season with, but we will create that tactic tomorrow in that episode. We have Jermaine Anderson, who's a fairly new player for us. His tackling is on 13. He likes to work hard. Again, another ball-winning type of midfielder with that high aggression and decent stamina. He likes to come deep to get the ball as well. That may help us if we are trying to play out from the back. We have Joe McNerney, a centre-back, who can jump. He's fairly decent in the air. He's got very good heading as well. We have Musa Diarra, another one who's very, very strong in the air. This is literally calling out for a set-piece routine, isn't it? We are asking for that near post routine. I mean, we will see how the save is going. We'll see how the games are going, but I don't tend to use set piece routines. I mean, default is usually good enough for me. Craig Ross is a decent goalkeeper. He's got good handling. He's got good reflexes. His communication is decent. Good command of area and good aerial reach. His agility could be better. His positioning could be better. His decision making as well. So mentally and physically, he's not right up there, but technically, he's a very good goalkeeper. Hello, Craig Ross. I am liking your profile. Now, for Solomon Nwaboki, I mean, if I do pronounce some of these names wrong, you can tell me in the comment section. Another player who looks to be a decent ball-winning midfielder, but he could be a decent box-to-box midfielder as well, as one of our coaches does recommend him to be a box-to-box midfielder. Josh Casey, I believe, the captain. Leadership on 16, teamwork on 9. The teamwork could be a bit better, so he can set a better example, but his crossing's on 13, his determination's on 12, his natural fitness, his stamina's on 14. I believe we've got a fairly fit squad. Now, my favourite player, sorry everybody else, my favourite player, we have Tavon Campbell, the striker. He can play on left wing, but we are certainly going to be playing him up front. For me, simply advance forward. Absolutely, of course. He's going to be our pacey striker, trying to get in behind defences and bag those goals like he does in real life. We have Tom Champion as well. I mean, he's decent attributes. He's got decent attributes, especially mentally, but physically, his mobility is poor. It is poor. His pace is on 5, his acceleration is on 4, his agility is on 7. He is 35 years of age, so he may have a very important part to play, especially in that dynamics. We have Karen Lofthouse, who's going to be a hot prospect for us. We have Max Krushmer as well, a central midfielder. His penalty taking's on 15, his free kick taking's on 12, so it looks like he's a set piece taker, and his flair is on 13 as well. Another hard worker. Jamal Loza from Jamaica. I am also from Jamaica, so I will have a soft spot for Jamal Loza, number 7 as well. He's got some pace to him. He's not one of the fitter players in the squad, and he does have a decent or average off the ball movement, average finishing, average passing. His aggression is decent as well. So that's the squad. We also have Mark Smith, but we can look at the development centre, look at the under 23s. Who can we promote to the first squad if we can promote anybody? So we have Leo Hamblin, who can play left back and can play central defence as well. I mean, he's fit. Another fit player. He is fit. He's got decent tackling, decent heading, determination's on 13. I mean, he is determined to improve. If we look at our current left backs, we only have one, Josh Casey. So actually, I believe he can get promoted. So we will promote Leo Hamblin. Now, let's look at the other players. Tommy Block. I like that name, Tommy Block. He is a central midfielder, a defensive midfielder who can play at centre back and can play at right back as well. Looking at his attributes, again, another decent player. I'm not exactly sure why he's in that under 23s. Maybe we have too many central midfielders, and given his age, they've just put him in the under 23s, but he looks fairly decent. He does look decent. Another one, he is going to get promoted. Look at his potential ability as well. Hopefully, he is going to be good enough for the League 2 and League 1 divisions. We do have Sam Evans, who looks to be, acceleration 13, agility 11, finishing 12. Whoa. Determination 16, stamina 30. I mean, again, another one. He's jumping. Okay, so physically, he's not great. He does have a bit of pace to him. He does have some agility. But when it comes to balance, jump and reach and strength, basically the physical contact, he's not up for it, is he? His aggression's 5, his bravery's 6 as well. So those defenders coming in, tackling hard, he might just squeal a little bit. His composure's on 5, his concentration. Okay, I see why he's in the under 23s, but he may bag some goals in the under 23s. Jake Rumble as well, a decent fullback. He's got decent pace. But here's another one, the physical contact, the balance, the jump and reach, the strength. His aggression isn't bad, but he's another player that may just not be physically up for it. So let's look at the staff. Let's get familiar with some of the staff members. Now, if we look at the staff area for the recruitment team, we only have one scout who is the chief scout. So we will have to add another scout to the staff room as well. But we can look at our coaching team. We have Ian Dyer, 37 years of age, fairly young. He is our assistant manager. He's going to help me guide this Woking side to the top as well. We aren't going to change too much of the staff. We're not just going to be sacking and replacing them with quote unquote better staff. As the club progresses, as the reputation grows, then the staff room should be able to grow as well. So we are going to be looking to add staff members rather than replacing them, as we are building together. We are making history together. That is fairly important. So we also have Scott Harrison, 38 years of age, who is head of youth development, working with youngsters on 14, level of discipline on 17, his determination is on 9, and his personality is on balance, which may affect some of the youth coming through. So I know I said we aren't going to be replacing the staff, but we may have to make an exception. Actually, I will have to speak to Scott. We will speak to Scott first before we make any decisions. Matthew Winter, our goalkeeper coach. Nice to meet you. 29 years of age. He's fairly decent for this league, to be honest. He is fairly decent. And his date of birth, he was born in 1992. So was I. Christian Jolly, who is a fitness coach. Hello, Christian. Your fitness is on 2, mate. We will have to speak about that. Your determination's on 2 as well. Again, we will have to speak about that. James Clark as well, 32. We have a fairly young backroom staff. I'm only 29 myself, I believe. I'm only 29 myself, and as you can see, my attributes as well, not great at all. We have the national A license, but we aren't a very experienced head. The only experienced head in the staff room is Martin Tyler, and yes, that is the legend Martin Tyler. Aguero! I really couldn't believe it myself, but it is Martin Tyler. Just look at his reputation as well. Very good. He does have a very good coaching license as well, so it's very important that we keep him. It's important that we listen to him as well. He has the experience and he is a very good coach, someone that we will look to rely on. So that's the staff members, that's the staff board. Thank you for meeting them. Now let's look at the season preview, where we can see who are expected to get promoted, who are expected to get relegated. So here we are. We are predicted to finish around that 11th spot. We are 14-1 to actually win the whole thing. Stockport County are expected to finish first, with Grimsby Town in second place and Wrexham in third. The teams expected to go down: Weymouth and Dover. Athletic, 400-1. That is absolutely crazy or mental odds. So we have signed a lot of players, so this is a fairly new squad, and when we check the team dynamics, that may affect a few things. We might not actually have a team leader or highly influential players, as a lot of these players are new. The squad average age is at 26. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. A fairly young squad, a squad that can develop and become better. I did mention the team dynamics. Let's have a look at it. So we do not have a team leader, but we do have 3 highly influential players: Josh Casey, Craig Ross, and Max Crashmer, all 3 of whom will be very important at the start. I think these players, it's very important that these players start as well, and they are all in the same core social group. So again, it's going to be very important that they start us off in the season. We do have Joe McNerney as well as an influential player, Effie Young, Diarra, Rohan Ince, Tyreek Johnson, all in that core social group. So I may look to group these players together, make sure they start the season as well, and that may give us a better chance to start well. Disappointingly, Tavon Campbell is in the secondary group, but I mean, 1 or 2 players outside that core social group may not hurt us at all. So that is the team dynamics. These are the highly influential players, these are the influential players, and these are the players or other players. But Tavon Campbell, I'm sure, will become a highly influential player. I mean, you can tell that I'm so excited to be using Tavon Campbell. I've probably mentioned these names a lot of times, and it's probably the name that you're going to hear the most throughout the whole series. I mean, it is his name in the intro scene as well. It is his name, it is his goal that he scored. But we've checked the dynamics. Before we look at that shortlist of players to sign as well for the next episode, which is tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow we will make some signings. Tomorrow we will set the tactic, and tomorrow we will play the first 3 league games of the season. But let's look at the finances. Hopefully we're not in trouble. So for the overall balance, we do have £234,000. Thank God, sign of relief there. We are in a healthy position. The transfer budget is on £24,000. I mean, I'm not liking this 666 whatsoever. The wage budget is on £16,000, but how much of that do we get to spend? 3.7 I mean, 3.37. Why am I struggling? £3.37,000 is our wage budget that we can spend on those new players. I mean, again, that is fairly decent for this league, especially. The scouting budget, £34,000. That is high. That is high, and that is something that we will need to sort out right away. So the scouting budget, what was that? So we can just about afford the National League, basically. So yeah, that is our finances. It does look like we are in a healthy place at the moment. The status, our financial status is on okay. But now I'm going to go away. Make sure you stay here. Make sure you stay. I'm just going to go away, wrap up a quick shortlist. I'm just going to add some attributes into the player search. I'm just going to basically highlight a lot of players. I'm going to send them into a shortlist, and then I'm going to see who's interested in joining us and who's interested in joining us on loan. So now, let's look at the shortlist. I tried to make a dramatic entrance. It probably didn't work. There's not even enough space here to maneuver. But here is the shortlist. And I mean, Rodell Richards, that's probably a familiar name with a lot of players as well. Jay Stansfield, again, another familiar name with a lot of Football Manager players. But we do have a shortlist here. Let's go back to the squad actually. Let's see the areas that we actually need to improve in. Right back, right away is definitely an area that we need to be looking at. Centre back possibly as well, because we do have Joe McNerney, who's a key centre back. Behind that, we have Musa Diarra and Tom Champions. Looking at the flanks as well, possibly. I mean, we can play Tavon Campbell on the flanks, but I really want Tavon Campbell to be up top, bang those goals like he does in real life. After that, we aren't really flexible when it comes to rotating our squad. We do have Jamal Loza, who can play on the left and up top, but he's not really natural in that left midfield position. And Karen Lofthouse as well, he can play at right mid, but he is basically our only right back currently. So let's go back to the shortlist, and we can see Alex Pike, who looks to have decent pace to him. He's got 13 to 20 pace, and his acceleration, and his pace is at 10 to 16. So he might be a pacey fullback. We have to keep an eye out on him, and we certainly, let's just scout him. Oh, actually, I have to sign a scout. I almost forgot about that. I have to sign a scout because the only scout is out on an assignment. Looking at the centre backs, we have Stephen O'Connor, 24 years of age, who falls below the average age of the squad, which is at 26, who looks a fairly decent centre back of what I can see anyway. We do have Sal Shotton, which we can't see anything whatsoever. I'm actually not sure how some of these players made the shortlist. Someone like Scott Butler as well, he has no attributes, but we will have to scout some of these players. It's too bad that you can't really have an opinion on any of these players. AJ Greaves, a central midfielder, someone that I'm excited to look at because these attributes just look, it looks decent. But if he did join, it will be because of a loan deal. So all of these players here without a club are available for us to sign on the free, but those who are contracted to a club will only join us on loan, I believe so anyway. So if I do that, as you can see, a lot of players just disappeared. And doubtful, and then go to doubtful again. This is basically how I whipped up the shortlist as well. So really, we can just look at the free signings who we could possibly sign. And I believe we have more information on these players as well. So someone like Alex Pike, you can see we have some of those attributes there. Reece Hutchinson, who is a left back. Who did he used to play for? Burton Albion, but we aren't currently looking for a left back. If we did, he could be an option. Tristan Nydam, he is a central midfielder that can play left mid as well, and he can play left back. Now, this is a very interesting option, and we will keep an eye out on him as well. Stephen O'Connor, who we've already seen. Aaron Tyler Sinclair, oh, no information on him. Bobby Carroll, he, again, a very interesting player simply because of his acceleration and simply because of his pace as a central midfielder. That can offer us something different tactically as well. Jaden Onan, another central midfielder. He, again, the acceleration, the pace, it just kind of excites me. It could be anything from 10 to 18. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, hopefully it's an 18, hopefully it's a 17 or a 16. Knowing me, we can sign him, it's 11. But it doesn't matter. He does look like a decent player. He's only 20, he's from Uganda as well, and he is wanted by Aldershot. He's wanted by Aldershot, he's wanted by Crawley Town, Grimsby Town and Notts County Town. I believe most of these clubs, or all of them if not, have a higher reputation than us, and you can see there's some minor interest from League 1 clubs as well as League 2. So I do know that he's a decent player. That's also how I judge these players as well. If we look at Bobby Carroll, for example, the Championship, we're probably not going to get Bobby Carroll, probably not. Stephen O'Connor, again, if we look at those players interested or those teams interested, it's Barnet, it's Woking, those in the National League, I am Woking by the way, and those in the Australian leagues as well. Alex Pike, we have Cheltenham Town, who's in the League 1, and they're actually my local team. They are actually my local team. Accrington Stanley in League 1, Morecambe in League 1. So I know these players are fairly decent because of the teams that are interested in them. So that's another way you can find out if a player is decent or not. If you can't see the attributes and they are wanted by a lot of teams, just have a look at the teams that do want them, because that can tell you if they are a decent player or not. But that does wrap up this video. So in the comment section, if you notice any of these players, if any of these players are familiar to you, and by looking at some of the players that we have checked out, for example Reece Hutchinson, but we aren't looking at a left back, are we? If any of these players do excite you, if any of these players do spark an interest, make sure you do comment that player's name in the comment section. Make sure you like this video as well. We are targeting for 300 likes. That is going to be very important. That would be amazing if we do get to reach 300 likes as well. I'm not really going to give it a time limit. I just want 300 likes. I'm not going to set some crazy high expectations. This is my first Let's Play on the YouTube channel. Also, make sure you are subscribed so you get notified whenever these videos come out, and also make sure you share the video as well. The next episode will be tomorrow, where we look at the tactics, make some signings and play the first 3 league games of the season. By the way, who is against Willstone, Halifax Town and Torquay United. Looking at the National League, and let's look at Willstone. Willstone are predicted to finish 21st, Halifax 20th. So those are 2 very winnable games. Oh, tomorrow could be exciting. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. I don't know why I winked. Stay safe and peace out.